I was the last one of all of my friends to lose their virginity. And at the time, man, that felt so embarrassing. Felt like I was behind in life, like I was lacking something. But in hindsight, looking back on it, I think that benefited me a lot later on in life than I actually want to give it credit to, right? The fuck type of sentence that I just said? That's not even. It benefited me a lot more than I want to give it credit for. It, man, y'all picking up what I'm putting down. I was at dinner yesterday with the fam, and I don't do a lot of talking in public. If I'm being honest with you, I do a lot of listening, observing, pondering, pontificating, whatever. And we was talking about this dude that the family knows, and I'm listening to the conversation, and then somebody was like, yeah, I think he got like 9 kids. And I'm like, 9 kids? My first reaction was, damn, 9 fucking kids? Nigga, you need to pull out, nigga. Wrap it up. Let's just stop fucking all together. God damn, nigga, 9 kids? What is that, 5 boys, 4 girls? Nigga. Long story short, he got a lot of motherfucking kids. They're talking about how, he gotta delay things in his life. Like he can't get certain properties that was entrusted to him or he inherited because if he do, child support gonna take it. Blah, blah, blah. And then I started thinking about the people I went to school with. Like some people I know who got 2 or 3 kids by 2 or 3 different women, or some women I know with 2 or 3 kids by 2 or 3 different men. And I don't think this is like a cause and effect type thing. It's just something I noticed. A lot of them started fucking early, right? A lot of them had relations early in age, right? Maybe, I don't know, early high school, late middle school. Before me, they got some ass before me. Put it to you like that, right? And after I started thinking about that, the next rabbit hole I went down was all the degenerate and stupid ideas me and my friends had as kids, right? I gotta be honest to you. If you're new to the channel, it's your first video, you should know that I was not good with the ladies, right? I had very low elo with the ladies. I couldn't buy no cheeks because I didn't have a job at the time. But even when I got a job, I still couldn't, I couldn't get no cheeks to save my life. And at the time, it was very frustrating. It was very embarrassing. I was the type of guy that wasn't gonna lie about it though. I just found it so lame to lie about sleeping with somebody. Lying on your Johnson is what we called it, right? I just found that so lame. So I went lie about it. You tell the girls, yeah, you ain't really got none yet, man. They giggling, snickling. Of course, the dudes, you tell the dudes, man, they got jokes for you, whatever. All good fun looking back on it. But I kind of said to myself, I knew it like in the back of my head. I said, maybe it's a good thing that I'm not fucking right now because maybe it's just like a part of this life that I'm not ready for. And I was absolutely correct. I'm so glad being the age of 28 that it took me a long time, and really not even a long time because I was still a teenager, quote unquote, when I lost it. But I'm glad that it took me a little while and I was somewhat mentally developed, somewhat emotionally developed, still very underdeveloped, but I'm glad I struggled to lose my virginity. I'm just straight up say it like that. I'm glad for it. Looking back on it, if I was out here just having my way, slaying anything I wanted, I definitely would have maybe 6 babies by 4 different women right now. No bullshit. Cause man, I try to be a very intellectual person, and I gotta be honest with you, part of me is intellectual, but I try to be very intellectual on this channel. I try to think with logic, but I gotta be real with you. At the end of the day, I'm still a nigga. You know what I'm saying? A fat ass and a smile, man. Shit, I'm going. Little Caesars. You know what I'm saying? And not much has changed nowadays, except for that I don't act on every single urge that I have, right? Back then, I would have been in knee deep in anything that would have gave me consent, bro. I could tell you right now, I probably would have had every STD imaginable. And I probably would have gotten myself into a lot of beef. Pause. Hey, yo. I probably got myself into a lot of drama, a lot of situations I didn't need to be in over some vagina, bro. My mental health would have been way worse for wear. Because I know a lot of people like to say dudes can just go slay a village and nothing changes. And to a degree, and I don't find that to be factual. I think what changes in a woman doesn't change in a man, but I still think you take some type of mental and emotional toll, right? Maybe after a while, you just don't care anymore, but even that in itself is a change. It's a toll on your mental, your emotional, right? Now you just out here fucking shit heartless. I don't think that's too normal, in my opinion. And I also think I wouldn't be the man I am today if I was slaying cheeks young. Because if you slay cheeks now, right, it takes a lot of time. In some cases, it takes money. It takes a lot of energy. And being the fact that I wasn't good with women and I wasn't knocking shit down at a young age, I had a lot of time to myself. I had a lot of free time and a lot of energy, and it had to go somewhere, right? It's gonna go somewhere. And it wasn't going at somebody's daughter. So, I spent a lot of that time writing raps, learning how to make beats, being creative, and playing the game too, fucking off. But like, what I'm saying? I spent a lot of that time investing into, I guess, what you would call a substance, playing instruments, learning things like that, blase blah, a little bit of YouTubing, here we are. And I just felt like if I was out here running down, chasing, chasing tail, and was successful, because I was still trying, I was still shooting my shot, but it just wasn't, it won't hit on nothing. And I'm not gonna lie, when I finally did get some, I see how like my life just completely revolved and changed around some ass, right? And I want to say nothing is wrong with that, but I feel like if you're very ambitious, if you have goals, if you want to get somewhere, if you want to be more than average, if your life is revolved around cheats, man, hey, look, don't get me wrong, I love cheats as much as the next guy, but it's a time and a place for that. And as a young blood, as a youngin', I didn't understand that. I was trying to get, I was trying to get one off. You feel me? Y'all feel me? You feel me? I was trying to get one off. So if it was openly like opportunity, if it was opportunity at a consistent rate, man, I probably wouldn't be nowhere, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today, right? And I'm not, when it comes to music, I'm not no Michael Jackson, I'm not no Kendrick, I'm not no Drizzy Drake, but I'm very satisfied with the progression and I'm proud of the progression I made. I knew where I started at and I know where I'm at today. If my younger self can see what I could do today, just off a whim, I probably would bust out younger me would probably bust out in tears like, yo, what the fuck? And if I was beating somebody's daughter back in 4 times out of the week, bro, I gotta be honest with you, I wouldn't be here right now. And the fact that I didn't get buns early, I wasn't good with the women early, I think gave my brain, my emotions time to develop. So I think I looked at situations like, I don't know, I just look at things a little differently, right? Like, don't get me wrong, man. If I go down my Instagram right now, at all the people I follow, all the girls I follow, if it's 100 of them, I guarantee you, I probably was clap 94 to 92 of them, 92 to 94 of them, right? But even if the opportunity presented itself, I just can't see myself actually going down the list and clapping all 92 to 94. Why? I think a little too much about it. Like, I think about how she feels about it. You can call me a bitch ass nigga. You can call me whatever you want to. But like, at the end of the day, I got to go to sleep at night, right? I got to look at myself in the mirror. So you can call me whatever you want to call me. That's just how I feel about it. And that's just how I decide to move. Now, granted, if I was clapping cheeks since I was like 13, 14, I might look at it a little differently. And that's no shade to nobody that's been out there clapping cheeks. You know what I'm saying? Big up to you. You know what I'm saying? You did what you did. But me personally, I don't know if that's just how I am as a person or if that was just the fact that like I was a little bit older when I started, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't like old as shit. I was 18 when I got my first taste, you know what I'm saying? And then when I finally got it, after it was all said and done, I walked the girl out the crib or whatever. I walked to my room, I sat on the bed, and I was just like, I was really wilding out, stressing, sad and frustrated, feeling like I was being left behind or I was missing out. I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I could have kept my V card for all of this, you know what I'm saying? It won't what I thought it was, And maybe, I don't know, you know what they say, you about expectations. I had very high expectations for the moment, and it wasn't nothing the girl did. It was just that it wasn't what I thought it was, man. I thought it would be, you know what I'm saying? Like the flicks, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Maybe, you saying, but not to make it all long and drawn out. I honestly think that the age that most of us was introduced to this world, we was way too young. A lot of things come with being sexually active, right? And I think most of us just wasn't responsible enough, for one. Most of us didn't have the emotional maturity or the moral maturity as teenagers to consider the other person. And I think that's where a lot of behaviors we see nowadays starts, right? Like niggas just out here buku fucking everything, right? Or women becoming hoes and sluts and Jezebels, or however you want to, articulate that. I feel like a lot of that starts, by introducing something to a child that wasn't, he wasn't really ready mentally or emotionally for. And I feel like I dodged a bullet in a way because I think I'm very even-minded about these type of things now. Don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I never, been somewhere I shouldn't have been, trying to do something I shouldn't have been doing, but it doesn't happen as often as I hear other people, right? And I don't know, like I said, maybe that's just a personality trait. Maybe it has nothing to do with the time that I lost my virginity. But what I can say is it kind of let me be a child, right? I feel like once you take that step, and I'm not saying getting no ass makes you a man. I'm not saying that, but you already desire it, and I think that's where you lose your innocence to begin with. But like once you take that step, in my opinion, I feel like you are no longer innocent. Like your childhood is done the day you get some ass. And that might be a stretch, but that's just my opinion. A lot of things come with that, and I don't think we ever consider that as kids. Emotion, a lot of things, and it's deeper than just physically, like STDs and whatnot, but like emotionally, mentally. I don't know about y'all, man, but like in the back of in my head somewhere, every woman that I ever did anything with is somewhere in there. You know what I'm saying? Like they occupy a small space in my head, whether it be a minuscule space, they're in there somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't went crazy. I don't have a buku amount of partners. You know what I'm saying? I ain't slayed the village yet. You know what I'm saying? And I wonder is it the same for people who been out here, who been active, who been getting to it? Is it the same for them? Cause I gotta be honest with you, man. I don't want that many people in my headspace, right? I got, like I said, everybody that you know what I'm saying, they are in there somewhere. They might got a little spot in the corner, but they still taking up real estate. And I don't particularly like that. That makes me feel, cause it's the past, and I wouldn't say I'm triggered by it, but I still feel something. Not like romantically, like I want to get back with him or I want to see him again, but it's just like a feeling that I can't accurately articulate. And I don't know if other dudes feel this way. I don't know if, dudes just don't want to be vulnerable and admit this, say something about it. But if I'm being honest with you, you know what I'm saying? It's a little something. I have heard from my homeboys and coworkers and whatnot that, after a while, you kind of don't care. And I don't really want to get to that point, right? And like I said, man, you can call me whatever you want to call me, but like I said in a past video, I just don't think it's a good idea to just be knocking down everything, bro. Like it do sound fun though. I'm not gonna lie to you. This shit do sound very exciting, very, very empowering. But I just don't think it's a good idea, if I'm being honest with you. And that's really all I have to say on the subject. I'm not telling you keep it in your pants. I'm just saying moderation. Watch what you do. You know what I'm saying? Think about and pay attention to how it makes you feel at the end of the day. And I think I do that. And I understand that, man, this shit don't make me feel the best. I don't feel any more confident or blase blah. But yeah, man, I'm glad I lost it when I was a little bit older. That's really all I got to say about that. If you made it this far, I appreciate you, man. I ain't got much else to say to y'all. So I'll catch y'all boys on the flip, man. Unk out.